President Donald Trump has recently made waves for his changes to various parts of the White House, but he's far from the first president to make his mark on the People's House. Construction began on the White House in 1792, and every president after George Washington has lived there. Just over 20 years later, the Executive Mansion was burned down by British troops during the War of 1812 and had to be fully rebuilt. Throughout the 1800s, the north and south porticos were added, as were modern conveniences like heating, plumbing, and electricity. In 1902, President Teddy Roosevelt undertook even bigger renovations, in part to accommodate his 6 children. The most lasting change of his tenure was the addition of the West Wing, which now famously houses the Oval Office, added in 1909 under the Taft administration. The East Wing as we know it today came decades later in 1942, when the other Roosevelt, FDR, oversaw its construction. It was built partially to cover the construction of an underground bunker designed to shelter the commander-in-chief. Well, in the 70s, Richard Nixon built the press briefing room, replacing what was then a swimming pool built by FDR, introducing a new kind of leak at the White House. But the biggest White House remodel to date started in the 1940s, when President Harry S. Truman made major changes in response to concerns about the structural integrity of the building. Truman and his family relocated to temporary quarters nearby as the interior of the White House was redone. Other presidents have directed smaller projects, like Barack Obama, who adapted an existing tennis court so it could be used for full-court basketball games. Today, President Trump has undertaken several projects, including a plan to add a new ballroom to the White House. He also remodeled the Rose Garden, a feature first put in place in 1913 by First Lady Ellen Wilson, wife of Woodrow, and updated into its most iconic form during the Kennedy administration in the 1960s. At the White House, I'm Christopher Salas.